Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
It's a juicy encounter. It's the one that the Asia Cup is played for, right, Joy?
Absolutely. I mean, this tournament survives on that match. The sales of that match in terms of television rights, everything, it drives the entire business, which is why playing each other twice, everyone's hoping they play each other a third time, but at least two times with this format, you're guaranteeing. Otherwise, why would you have a Super Pro from 6 teams to 4 teams? You'd have it just to make sure you have 2 India-Pakistan matches.
That's right. No one's complaining, Ajay.
Joyda, it's to encourage the younger and the newer lot teams, to give them that hope that, slowly you'll move up the order. And we don't play bilateral. So, it's all three-match series.
This is our best opportunity for bilateral. Absolutely.
Isn't it almost like when you're in school and you have to go for a date and you have chaperones? Like, half your family comes along with you because you're just in school, like you're too young. So this is what it is. This is a bilateral series. You're playing 3 games and then you just call a lot of people to I'm just being naughty. I'm being naughty. Don't listen to me. Naughty. Let's look at that. This is big news coming out of the India camp. Couple of big things that are happening. One, of course, is that Ravindra Jadeja got injured and Akshar Patel was called in, so a knee injury. And Ajay, the bigger news that is coming after that is that he requires knee surgery, so the T20 World Cup looks in jeopardy for Ravindra Jadeja, and that is a big blow to the Indian 11 balance.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he's been your integral part of your team for the last 2-3 years. I mean, he's been around for 15 years, but I think the biggest impact that he's made is in the last 2 years. And in fact, he came into the side when Akshar Patel got injured in the last Asia Cup. He'd been dropped. He wasn't, having a great run. But ever since he's come back, and especially I, put my hand up and say, I have never seen him bat as well as he's done in the last couple of years. So that batting whole balance that you get is something that he added. But I mean, it's sad. I mean, for any player. I mean, not just because it's Ravindra, but for anyone, because this is something that you wait for. I mean, you prepare for, and when you are at your peak of your game, you want to go out there and play at the highest level when the whole world is watching. So it's sad to see that, it's an injury. And as you just said, that if he needs a surgery, I don't think there's enough time to recover from any sort of a surgery, even if it's a small one. So it looks like that he'd probably not be there for the World Cup. And makes a difference to a balance, because India's used to him being there, and you tweak, you add another batsman, you play somebody else, wicket falls, you send him Ajay. And in fact, in the last couple of weeks, ever since the Rohit's come, he's been bowling in the power play as well. So it's not just the batting balance, but how the captain wants to use his bowlers. You'll have to now think of somebody who's going to be able to bowl in the power play as well.
Yeah, but Joy, great opportunity, right, for Akshar Patel?
Akshar Patel, look, ahead of him, great opportunity for Ashwin. If you have to look at it for a like-to-alike replacement, you're also looking at a man who was on the ICC's list of all-rounders top for a very, very long time. And Ashwin also has a point to prove. And if you look at current form, I mean, let's leave Jadeja aside because he's been far ahead of everyone else. But bowling form, Akshar has not really been in the greatest of bowling form for the past 6-7 months. If you have to look at it, especially in this format, he's not been there. So I have a feeling that what you're going to see definitely in this Asia Cup is now that if Jadeja is definitely in jeopardy, you're going to see Ashwin given a long rope to get a chance to play himself into form or play himself into contention at least.
Yeah, well, potentially there's, 3 games in the Asia Cup, right? If India plays the final, then 3. Then 3 against Australia, 3 against South Africa, which means there's 9 games.
You're not even going to go that far because your decision has to be taken by the 15th of September.
Which means, actually, none of those games come. So it's just these 3. So the long rope is these 3 games. If he can get these 3 games, then you can see whether... Well, it's really interesting because Ashwin definitely the bowler more informed than Akshar. But Akshar, the batter, who's more capable than Ashwin in this format. And he showed us what he can do in West Indies, didn't he, Ajay?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt, and both of you have made it very clear that, as a batter, Akshar definitely beats, Ashwin by a long way, I think, in this format of the game. And as a bowler, I will not even compare anybody to Ravichandran Ashwin because he's the one of the finest in the world for me. It's just that when you brought him back and how you made him sit out, it's been a mystery to me because the guy was away from Indian cricket from this format of the game. New captain, new coach comes back. The only reason it could be because all of us are only watching. It could be that they 100% know that Ashwin was going to play, and that's why he was still warming the bench because he's an experienced player. You don't have to try him out. Either you want him or you don't want him. And in this case, I think Rohit Sharma wants him, and I'll go with Joyda.
Okay, well, the other news, of course. So wait a second. That's not all the bad news. There's more. Is Avesh is not reported to training today, apparently because of some illness. We don't know exactly what it is. But that means that probably we'll need a replacement for him as well because there's only 3 quicks in the squad, plus, of course, Hardik, but only 3 quicks in the squad, which is Bhuvi, Arshdeep and Avesh. So if Avesh is not there, they either have to call in Bumrah or Deepak Chahar, don't they, Joy?
Yeah, look, Deepak Chahar is right there in Dubai. He's being taken as a net bowler to sort of play himself back, to get himself into form. So since he's already there, I think it's definitely going to be more, rather than putting someone on a flight, expecting them to arrive. Deepak Chahar could be the choice to go. Interesting thing is if they turn around and say that they'll play Ravi Bishnoi and turn around and say that we'll play the extra spin bowler and say that, okay, we're going to get 2 overs, Bhuvi's going to bowl, we're going to get overs from Arshdeep, and then Hardik is going to give us overs as well.
One sec. So are you saying then India plays 3 spinners tomorrow and all 3 who have not played a game so far?
No, so you've got Chahal.
Because that would be Akshar. Akshar, not Akshar. Sorry. So you're playing Chahal. Either
Ashwin.
Let's have a look at the Pakistan team as well. And would you see any changes happening there? Well, they've got one injury as well, haven't they? The Hani is not there anymore. So the Hani is injured. And have they named a replacement for him? We'll just check this up and tell you. But there's Haider Ali, Usman Kedar, and Hassan Ali who have not played out of these. But otherwise, looks like a balanced team. But I think what they need is they need a little more intent from the captain and keeper right up front, especially if they're batting first, don't they, Joy?
I think what's happened is that's exactly the point. The point we've been debating right now, that what we did in 2019, top order, very dependent top order, not getting runs. I think they'll say that we need, if you're not scoring at 135, 140, we need runs. We need you to sort of accelerate faster than you did last time and not put so much pressure with fewer balls in the middle order. And look, this is a very capable Pakistan team. And again, there is reasons for Pakistan to be a top-heavy batting side because you lost a lot of players at the same time 3-4 years back. And it's your top order who's really given you stability. So they're depending on something that's tried and tested. It's not that easy to change overnight. We in the India team have had the same problem. Our top order was so solid that it's not that easy for us to change this whole approach overnight.
Yeah.
And I think they're struggling with that. But they need to get their runs a bit faster. That's now definitely true because the way the format's playing out, they need to put less pressure on their middle order.
Yeah, you're always, like Ajay, like we say in the entertainment business, you're always one Friday away from, seeing really good times. Your Sri Lanka shown today, you're one game away from really your openers getting you to a kind of a rocket start. Today, that's what was done by Mendes and Nisanka for Sri Lanka, right? They got Sri Lanka off to a rocking start with almost 10 and over power play, right? 57 in the power play. So Pakistan will look at that. But is the reason why it's not, because Babar and Rizwan are both capable. Is it because they don't have the late middle order reinforcement or big hitting like Sri Lanka does? Is that they don't have the faith there? Is that the reason perhaps?
I think it's the other way around, GK, because their late middle order or the striking players that they have, they don't like too much time in the middle. They like to have this freedom of post 13, 14 overs where they can go throw their bat around, and they feel comfortable there. And not, I think, was watching Pakistan over the years, they like the the openers or at the most number 3 play almost that there was a graphic or a number a few days ago that we showed that almost 65-70% of balls, even in 2020, are faced by their top 3 players. And they like that, because once they get, and once they get to that stage, then the Alis and Shadab and
Pushtel with his 4 sixes the other day.
So they have that power hitting, but they're not stroke players in the middle where you say, okay, if you're 3 down for 60 at over number 8, now from 8 to 14, how will we play?